Hey, welcome to the show. I'm Yanni Rude.
And I'm just Harold. You ever been out somewhere and overheard two people having crazy conversations?
Yeah, well, we are those people. We've been having these conversations since college.
Yep, it's the Regular Guys Random Thoughts podcast, Love is Blind Season 7 Reunion Recap. Be sure to like, subscribe, rate, and leave a review.
Do you agree, as everyone's coming in to the live crew, Amanda says, "Hello, everyone. Wow, the drama was on 100 last night."
It was on. It was definitely on. And happy Halloween to those that celebrate.
Do you?
I did as a kid. I went trick or treating like a few times. I remember, but then once my parents got into church, the only thing you could do was dress up as your favorite Bible character and go to the church. And I did that one time, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not. I just won't do. I won't do Halloween."
Those Jesus 3000s.
Yeah.
Sandals and candy.
But like when I was in elementary school, I'm like, so I got to dress up as somebody white because that's what I thought in the Bible.
Oh, did you put on white face? Are you gonna get
all the
canceled
pictures
now?
that you saw? All the pictures that you saw, I'm like, I don't know who to dress up as.
Will there be tricks or treats? Asked Happy Gardener. Well,
Well, now I'm walking around looking like Boaz every day, trying to my partner.
Sincerely, Shimarel said, "I ain't watched the reunion. Happy to hear y'all's input." And look, we got a dual Montreal because Cynthia shouted out earlier, said hi from Montreal, and Shoshana's like, "Hey, I'm from Montreal too." So shout
Look
out.
at that, neighbors.
Yeah, don't do that like it's New York. Oh, you from
Oh,
New
still
York?
knew each other. What part of Montreal? MLK Street. On the east side.
Don't you do that. I like she likes to tweet. What's good, my fellow toxic TV loving enthusiasts? That's exactly what we are, right? Exactly. Great way to put it. You know what? Let's go ahead and get that toxicity started. But first, I saw this right here, so I'm going to make sure we say this real quick. Here it is. Monica, happy birthday. Says my birthday. I was a treat, according to my mom.
Oh, that's nice.
Right? So happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Tanisha's in Round Rock. See, we're neighbors. That's a lot closer.
I didn't know what a double R meant. I was just like, I don't know. That might have been some gang stuff.
Yeah, Round Rock. Austin, Pflugerville, Round Rock.
That sounds
Stone's throw away.
Okay, we'll leave that alone. Spell Pflugerville.
Pflugerville. Pflugerville.
Just making sure you actually live there. All right, Let's get to this reunion, man, because we find out immediately that both couples that said "I do" at the end of the season, they are still married. Are you surprised?
Nope.
Why?
Not surprised. Because outside of the things that we heard outside of the show, there was nothing that we would make us think that they wouldn't still be together.
Right.
So that's why I still felt. Taylor and Garrett. I already said that was my Tiffany and Brett, and I was right. I called it. And then Ashley and Tyler.
There you go. Still trying to make them.
Contrary to what we think that we found out after the show, I couldn't see why they wouldn't be together.
So it was interesting to see because as soon as they come out, immediately, right? And we're like, okay, how long are they going to make us wait to get to Ashley and Tyler, and do they even bring this up? Because they would have really ticked us all off if they didn't. And immediately they go to... Nope, they didn't go to them first. They went to Taylor and Garrett.
Right. Just a little highlight of how things been, and it's been great, and all the good stuff. Fishing trips that Taylor took the fellas on. That Garrett took the fellas on. They're doing really well.
Yeah,
as
what do you
we
think
knew
of
they would.
him taking her fishing?
Why wouldn't he? So she can get a chance to see this is what he does. This is what he's into. So why wouldn't he?
No, I thought it was cool, and the fact that she was willing, she did the things, including sticking her fingers in the fish's eyes, stuff like that. So I thought it was actually cool that they did that together. We also find out that Nick was a bit jealous because he's like, "Hey, how come I didn't get invited to this bromance?"
Because you wouldn't have went. Stop it. It's like, okay, Nick, next time, buddy.
We also find out at the end of the show, because we just covered Taylor and Garrett right now, that they're moving back to DC. Is that an issue, or is this something good?
Well, what's good is, from what I hear about marriage, it's all about compromise. And they're compromising because she was passionate about going to San Diego to be close to her family. And he knows he can't really be far from his family. Remember we talked about that? How like every Sunday his family gets together and they eat and all that. I think it'd be hard for him to move that far. And to go from, where they're at, the DC area, to San Diego, I mean, that's a huge jump. And so she decided to compromise and just say, hey, let's just move to the city and be in DC. And they're making it work, which I think that's beautiful.
Globe Hopper says Taylor and Garrett are nice and boring. That means it's a good relationship. Y'all got to stop looking for these exciting relationships, and then you wonder why you're single the next week. Stop it. I mean, the excitement comes from Garrett out there fishing and being a runway model, because apparently his glow up is real.
Apparently. See, maybe that's my goal, is I need to find some boring love. I can't be like, Yanni, I met somebody I really, really like, or you're going to be like, it's not going to work out. But if I'm like, yeah, I better go, how is it? She cool, I guess. You're like, Terrell, that's the one. That's it.
Nikki B says Garrett looks like Cogsworth with that ugly ass jacket. Damn, we starting early, huh? We're not even 10 minutes in.
Goodness, Nikki B, how was your day-to-day at work? You just, traffic bad? Violence.
Mimi says, I'm scared of fish, so, clapping to Taylor for sticking a finger in the eyes and holding it up. Yeah, indeed, because that was actually pretty good, considering that that's not her thing. By the way, Toya wanted to let you know that Garrett is no Brett, and he said multiple problematic things.
I didn't say they were the same person. I just said that their relationship was just going to work the way Brett and Tiffany did, and I was right.
Yeah, actually, you're kind of
Toya. I know you never agree with me, but just this time you could say I was right. Just one time.
No, she's Monica. No.
All right, what's your Venmo? Toya, fine. Let me pay you back.
Michelle says Garrett looks like he went to the hair club. That's funny. That's actually pretty damn funny. But as expected, this couple still good. So on to our next couple that we were like, okay, are they going to go ahead and do it now? And I'll be damned. They did. They put on Ashley and Tyler. And the interesting thing about it, you'd think this is good because they're putting them on early. Another round goes, nah, they put Ashley and Tyler early, so hopefully we forget about the BS. Damn. Did you want them to drag it out like it's a TV show?
Apparently it did. But honestly, I was surprised because my concern about this reunion was, would they have this information that's been leaked out? Right. And would that get covered? And so when they just went straight at it, that's when I leaned in. I was like, okay, here we go. Right. They're still together. Apparently, Tyler kicks it off when he talks about those kids and that family. I said, go on, Tyler. Tell me more about those kids and that family that you hardly know.
Well, these people that I've never met before in my life.
I think I've heard their names, but twins, you say?
It's how many? 3?
How many? 3? Wow.
Yo, for real. That was kind of nuts the way he did that. But I do like the fact that they addressed the internet rumors immediately. And Tyler got, would you consider this defensive? And he goes, I don't owe anybody an explanation except my wife. And then he starts to get emotional.
Well, theoretically, he's right. He doesn't owe anybody but his wife. But also, I think you owe the kids when they get older to them to understand why you call them donor babies and you said that family, those kids. They're going to watch this at some point. You owe them an explanation for that. But when you put your life on a reality show, you got people that are going to have a lot of questions. So you can either not say anything and just tell everybody kick rocks and you have your own opinion, or you come out and tell your truth, which is what he did. So apparently Ashley knew all this stuff. Yeah. She wasn't blindsided, wasn't surprised. And Ashley said it insults her intelligence that people think that social media knows more than she does. I was like, okay, girl, do you?
She was living with that man. Of course she knows. Said
Do
those
you?
kids, J. Marie says, those kids in that family was diabolical. Ashley was making my throat itch with all that dusty talk. I guess that's the part you were just talking about. That's what you call dusty talk. While Anitra is like, oh, Ashley, if you like it, I love it. That's what I hear when I see that emoji.
She said that she's all in. And she said this situation is so unique that no one knows how to maneuver through it. And true, we don't know what this is like, what they're going through. I don't buy his story because it conflicts what everyone else is saying. I get the first kid that you helped a couple out, but those twins, that wasn't you helping. That was you helping yourself out. But whatever, you do you. And I said the exact same thing that, hey, if Ashley likes it, good for her. If it works out, it's great. If it doesn't work out, it's egg on her face, and we just got to move on from it.
Yo, this was so bad. Women don't believe anything a man does, right? Lucy B says, perfectly timed tears. B says, crying is Tyler's tell. If he's crying, he's lying. Leah says the crying was so on time. And James, jumping right in there with women, says, LMT, light-skinned man tears.
Yeah? Yeah.
That man can't catch a break.
Well, but here's what's interesting about Tyler. He said the best thing about Ashley is the unconditional love. And is it just me, or is it that the guys that constantly talk about wanting unconditional love are the ones that are always going to mess up and want someone to just forgive them unconditionally, let them do all these things, but still love them unconditionally?
Yeah, well, Ashley also said that Tyler's her calmest love. And I think that tells a lot about her dating past, right? Because this is her calmest love. We never really saw him get riled up. We saw him get sensitive and cry. But you got to remember what she also said here. She said about the experience and people not understanding, but remember, in Cabo, she also said, while they were on the back on the camel, I'll never find another one. I'll never find another man like Tyler. She meant that.
And that's great if she did. But now you got to deal with all this stuff now. And so now that y'all married, his debt's your debt. Y'all figured, I hope you had a prenup, but great. You're all in. You're going to make this work. And if it works out, great. If it doesn't, now the question is she going to stay longer? Let's say it's not working, but she got to stay because she knows word gets out that she leaves him. Everyone's going to be like, I told you. It's your fault. I'm like, if she's happy with it, great. Do you?
There are a lot of people not happy with the fact that they're back together. Crystal Case, if a man loves that you're resilient, run. Damn.
You got to put up with all my stuff. That's what I'm talking about.
SM says, he meant, I love that I can lie to her and she still loves me. We don't know. I mean, okay. Amanda
We don't know
says,
that. That's speculation.
Yeah. Amanda R says, I was so disappointed in Ashley, but then again, who knows what he had told her at this point. At the time of the taping, there were images of Tyler with the kids, baby mama. There were images of Tyler with the kids, baby mama, and ex-wife that came after. But he said there were pictures. In the reunion, he said it.
Right.
And I don't think it wasn't a voiceover.
Yeah, you said that. Birth certificates going out there and all that stuff. But my thing is, why be disappointed in Ashley? If this is who she chooses to be with, it might not be your choice. But why be disappointed in her? That's what she's choosing to do. Be happy for her and let her go.
Oh my God, Toriko, really? That's what we saying. Her dad says she's a ride or die. That's how pick-me's operate. Damn, why y'all calling her pick-me now? That woman is standing by her man. But you know what? It's not just the live chat that's doing it, because there were people on the internet, you know, say Ashley and Tyler's giving Derek Jackson vibes. But my question is, who was Derek in this case? Because Ashley was gripping Tyler's knee real hard. People were noticing how she was gripping his knee, right? And then even the fact that she was breathing kind of hard in that sense, right?
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, how many of you would get on the hot seat right now and talk about your relationship, and everybody be like, "Girl, you did what? Oh, you crazy? You should have got out of that." That's on her, but don't be disappointed. That's just what she chose. Some of y'all chose bad too. It just wasn't on TV.
Elson says she's standing in traffic by her man. Center lane. Damn, y'all are tough, man. Y'all are tough today. Y'all not even playing. Wow. This is, by the way, Lucy B says they stay together despite viewers. After next season starts, there'll be history. Well, as you saw, Nick and Vanessa are bringing everybody back, including, they like to go, one of our favorite singles. We're like, who's this woman? From season 1. Like, who? Our favorite single was from Detroit. She married the white man. We liked her. Everybody loved them too. We knew they were going to be. They were the original Tiffany and Brett. So, all right. Jay Marie says, Tyler literally got 3 strikes. And Ashley said, okay. Y'all are ruthless. I ain't gonna lie. No, not giving any break here. Do us a favor, man. You're here, whether you're live crew or replay gang, please hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications, and drop them comments in there. There were just the one thing that did pop up was that at the end of the show they brought back Tyler and Ashley and asked about the tattoo. Mm-hmm. And Tyler still hasn't gotten her name. There's something he promised when they were in the hot tub. Okay. If that's the biggest thing about Tyler we're going to bring up, you didn't stick to your word about getting the chest tattoo. Okay. Yeah, well, the way people are going at these two in the comments and the live chat and on social media, that would be a reason to break up. Because he didn't get the tattoo he promised. That's the straw that breaks the camel's back. Now, they did bring some other people back there, including AD, and I had to ask, why the hell did they even interview her? Why was she there? Because she offered absolutely nothing, even when they're like, well, what's going on with you? Are you seeing anybody? Well, yeah. So who is it? We're keeping it on the low. Just shut up. Are you with somebody or not? Give us a quick update so we can move the hell on to someone else, AD. Jesus. No one needed all that. Can you speak like an adult, please? Because even later on, she still didn't speak like an adult. Yeah, I was like, you got to use the bathroom or you got to say something? What are you going to do? Watching AD made me mad at myself for feeling sorry for her last season. Yeah. I felt really bad for her then. Right now, I'm just, what is this? What are you doing? Yeah, what the hell? But here's what we find out here. AD Elson says AD's upcoming is an upcoming perfect match. I could see that. Oh, I'm not even gonna put that up there. She likes to tweet. You're wrong. We're gonna leave that alone. Leave them slippers alone. Even though Sly says AD was there to lead the booby dress parade, there was a lot of boobs out there on this reunion. I don't know if that was like the way. Yeah. All right. It's TV. This shit actually says your annoyance is her. Yeah, it was. It was a lot of people. But let's just, okay, AD, you're dating Ollie. Okay, let's move on. Yeah, exactly. Just say it. Like, that leaked already. Just, let's move on. Ollie. Ollie should be like, well, that I can't take. I'm out. Clay. Oh, goodness. Jesus, that was so annoying. All right, let's move on. Speaking of annoying, Marissa and Ramses. Because, I loved Marissa throughout the season. And then, unlucky episode number 13. Marissa, what happened? She starts to get emotional talking about watching the breakup on TV. And you notice everybody kind of separated so she could have her room. Like she was about to pass out. If Hannah sat too close to her, she'd pass out. Oh, I thought Hannah was giving her space. Like she was about to get all this stuff off her chest and speak her mind. Mm-hmm.
And nope, that didn't
got
happen.
none of that.
Got none of that. She got a whole lot of space just to cry, which again, it still hurts to watch her go through what she went through
Yes.
on TV, and she's still hurt by it. And I'm looking at Ramses, and my first thought is, why are you dressed like that? It's like he looked in the mirror. It's like he looked in the mirror. It's like, oh man, these pants. This is gonna kill him on Netflix today. Ooh, and this. Let me put this jacket and this fishnet shirt, and let me. He cut. Did you notice he cut the? Was it?
Yeah,
what is it called? The locks.
The
What it is?
Yeah,
Whatever it was.
the locks,
He
yeah,
cut that off.
whatever it
Thank
was.
goodness.
Or as Michelle called it, 2 dreads.
I got 2 dreads.
Here's the thing you probably didn't notice, and I didn't notice it watching it, but I noticed it when I was grabbing from the official media pics. His undershirt, the fishnet, was actually wrapped around his hand. Like, you know how you did leotards?
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Yo, it's, by the way, shout out to Amanda. Thank you for the super chat. Said, watching Marissa cry and her quote unquote best friend Hannah do nothing to comfort her was so not surprising. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, Hannah doesn't want to get herself dirty. Oh my God. I already did my makeup. I'm going to touch it.
I know you want me to touch you?
Yeah, you want me to touch you? I can't do that. Just when it's my turn, then you come touch me. But for right now, this is your thing. I'm just very direct, and I'm a bitch, but I love you, girl.
By the way, to answer your question, High Vibe says Ramses looked like he was dressed for Halloween, so that's what it was. He was
Looked like he couldn't decide. It's like, am I Beetlejuice, or am I going to be a combination of something? But Nick finally asked Ramses, because Ramses kept saying, like, up until the middle, towards the end, I felt like she was the one, but then something happened. And Nick finally was like, well, what was it? And he pretty much just calls it out.
He goes, that.
Yeah.
That
energy.
there.
Yeah. She's too much. And I can only take so much being around her is what it boils down to, which is so messed up. But that's what we all knew he was feeling.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about this was Marissa's mom, Vanessa, went to talk to Ramses. She talked about, she was upset. She went to go talk to him. And then she almost slipped up when she said that she talked to him and was going to talk him into, basically she was going to try and talk him into finishing out the process.
Right,
so
right.
Marissa wouldn't look bad. But then she does at least say, all right.
Yeah,
well,
she was glad that he ended it because she knew that Marissa wouldn't. And Marissa wound up carrying the relationship, which, remember when Marissa said that she would give it 7 to 10 years before she'd even consider divorce because she was that much into it.
Yeah. And so I could see why the mom, Vanessa, was saying that she's glad he called it off. But then she also said that he should have been more forthcoming early on, right? But my question is, should he really have been? Should he have announced those concerns the minute he had them? Like the first day he's like, this can get annoying. Well, I'll be damned. In person, it's different than through a wall. I can walk away when there's a wall.
I can hit my head. I can bang my head on the wall and go to sleep. Just boom. No, he can't say anything. He's backed himself into a corner because what did she say through the wall is that in her past relationships, people feel like she's too much. And it's always nice at first. And then it gets too much for people and they wind up leaving. And he was like, well, no, I think I love the way you are. And I like your energy. He said that in the pods. I like your energy and I like this. And then when it got too much for him, he couldn't say anything because he was already back up against the wall.
Right. No, exactly. That is a good point. The thing that I also didn't notice was that Marissa claims that she had no say in it because Ramses didn't bring it up from the beginning. I'm like, but what do you mean? I didn't get that part.
Oh, I totally did. I agree with her on that because what Ramses did, everything Ramses was saying was I statements. I felt this, I thought this, I did this. What Marissa is saying is that if we are in a relationship, we're about to get married, shouldn't it be we? He decided all this stuff and then let her know. So a couple days before they had that when he broke it off, she asked him, are you still in? He's still feeling good. Everything is great. Once he had that phone call with his brother and sister-in-law, and then did some thinking. Then he let her know what he decided. And that's her point. She didn't have a chance or even a say-so. It was just, I've thought about it. I'm doing this. I'm thinking this. I want out.
What happened was, and Monica has this figured out perfectly, because remember, this happened around the time, a certain time of the month, right? And Monica says Ramses had to stop having sex long enough to see her real personality. That's what happened.
I don't know.
Sex was the energy blocker?
I don't think so, because as guys, we know, right? Because there's that phrase we say, is the juice worth the squeeze? Do I want to put up with this girl just to go hook up and deal with that? Remember that in college? Is it worth it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's midnight, right? So you might as well.
I've had enough drinks. It's worth it.
2 more shots and I'll be ready. Because you know you got to
tonight.
put up with the extra. So it's not worth it. So I don't think that was Ramses' deal, is that he was, motivated by the intimacy, and then once the intimacy got cut off, that's when he realized he couldn't deal with her. I don't think that's what it was.
So here's something that came up. J. Marie says Ramses kept reassuring Marissa throughout the process, knowing he wanted out.
Yep.
Plus, Marissa stated she found out his ex-wife is getting remarried around that time.
Interesting.
So, well, that could play, Yeah. Hi, Daniela. Wrap it up. Ramses did not like that joke. I like the fact that he cleared up the whole conversation. I mean, Marissa did too on TikTok.
She did on TikTok. Him adding anything to it is pointless, because no one's listening to that. Everyone's still focused on how you broke up with this girl.
Right. So, done with them, but kind of, sort of, not completely. We get to see Zach and Bliss, and they showed us. I didn't understand this whole showing old couples thing throughout the whole, and it's probably because they wanted to show some success. But technically, they had a 100% success rate in season 7, right? Because 100% of the people who went down the aisle said I do. Now, granted, it was only 40% of the couples that they chose, but still,
good point.
100% of 40.
Good point. The people that make it to the aisle always say yes. According to season 7. According to season 7.
But here's how you know they're trying to fluff this reunion, which they didn't have to. There was enough to go through. With Zach and Bliss, they only showed their courtship through rose-colored glasses.
Right.
That one little piece, not the whole fact that he chose another woman and went to Mexico with her.
Yeah. Well, because they figured she wasn't a nice person. She was the Hannah of that season and paid the price for it. And Zach wound up winning.
Yeah. Like Dina says, they wanted to make sure people would still sign up for the BS. Let me show you some more success. Because y'all may not believe in 50% of our successful couples from this week. That's probably what it was too. Do us a favor, please. Those who are in here, whether in the live crew or part of the replay gang, please hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell for notifications as we conclude the pleasant part of the reunion. Now let's get to the shits.
Yeah.
Because Hannah is back. Oh, yeah. Hannah. Oh, so many things we can say. But I'm a gentleman.
No regrets whatsoever.
None.
No regrets.
And, actually, here's what ticked me off the most about this segment of the reunion. Nick and Vanessa led the charge of letting this woman off the hook.
Yeah.
They didn't. They bring up the duck incident, but then don't hold her feet to the fire for lying about it every time she told somebody else the story. We literally watched her tell the story 2 or 3 different times, and each time it was different than what happened.
Yeah. Well, they did. I mean, Hannah has no shame in her attitude. She's very direct, and she says, I'm a bitch, and I'm a direct, and I know I got to work on that. And Garrett tried to come in and say, Nick, you showed a lot more patience, way more than I would have, which was a slight little dig, but Hannah didn't care. And she just stands her ground that she's direct. I mean, and finally gives a soft little, I'm sorry, but no one said anything about the particular behaviors that she did they just gave her the pass. That she, and even Vanessa said, I know I don't want to ask if you have any remorse because I want you to stand strong in your I am woman, hear me roar crap, but you're rude.
Yeah.
Very mean to people. And she's just letting her get away with it. And so Hannah says she's been working on herself internally and externally. I'm like, looks like just externally.
Yeah. Okay. Because that's the part that irked me. Because Vanessa says, do you have anything to say to Nick? And she's like, well, I'm just direct. And AD's dumbass is sitting over there like, period. Girl, you let that man play in your face last season. Yeah. We sat here, had sympathy for you, and you'll be talking about period. Stop it. To this nonsense. Because here's the thing. Hannah is just a straight up mean girl regardless, right? Fake apology that she gives, saying, like you said, she worked on herself. No, she didn't. No, she didn't. And here's the thing about it. Nick tries to tell everyone, stop hating on her on the internet. She's a good person. And Hannah goes, don't you dare say a damn thing nice about me because I got nothing but heat for you.
Well, you had Marissa that leaned in and said, if Nick's saying all that, why is he liking all the bad things people are saying about you on social media? And then Hannah was like, what? Okay. it was like Family Feud. It was like a good answer, good answer. What about this, Nick? And so she comes at Nick for that. And my first thought was shocks. I'm like, wow, this escalated quickly. Because I was expecting everybody to be all on Hannah, and it got flipped on Nick.
Right.
For whatever reason.
It didn't make sense. And she just kept trying to go after him. And one of the things she did, and I want to know if they brought up the note. And I want to know if you caught this thing when the note came up, right? She said, so, of course, my friends are helping me pack up, and they're like, let's go through his shit. That right there. You broke up with him. Why are you going through his stuff? That man did nothing to you.
But why are you leaving your stuff out when you break up with somebody? I made that mistake once. 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 I was 22. Once. Yeah, you break up with somebody, you take everything you got, put it in your room and sleep with it just to make sure nothing happens when they leave.
He said he didn't care. And the problem is, you know the kind of woman Hannah is. So you can't leave her anything because she's looking for any and everything that she can, right? I mean, she was mean to him, nasty to him from the minute she met him, right? And then she breaks up with him nastily. And then he still leaves the stuff out. You're crazy for that, right? And then she goes, the thing that I think kind of irked me is Marissa had more smoke for him than she did for Ramses.
Yeah.
Did you notice
Where's that energy? Yeah, I made that note. Where's that energy with Ramses? You know, why didn't you look at Marissa? Why didn't Marissa look at Hannah and go, are you sure? Are you sure?
Exactly.
Didn't do any of that.
And then they get to this whole thing about Hannah's looks, right? And what was said. And now, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Hannah have something to say about Nick the minute she saw him? And then the meeting even further talking about, I turned you from a boy to a man. Now, what if he said to her in that moment? Because that's why it couldn't be you or me, right? Because in that moment, had he turned to her and she said, I turned you from a boy to a man, he'd go, like, you know what? Let me return the favor. I'll take you to the gym and turn you from... Let me stop.
Wow. Go ahead. Hold on. Let me let you get a solo. Go ahead. Tell your story.
I'm not going to say from a bull to a stallion. I'm going to leave it alone.
Yeah. Well, so she didn't like him remember when they had the reveal, or when they leave, the thing's closing, she's just kind of like, So but then also she kept talking about it on camera to as many people as possible about either his looks, something bad about him. Nick, whatever he might have said off camera, I can say he didn't say anything bad about her on camera.
On camera. And she said everything about him on camera.
And she said everything bad about him on camera, and not one person called her out for that. They were just focused on the fact that Nick said that she might be a 5 or a grenade. What's a grenade, by the way?
Oh, so calling a woman a grenade. It's funny. I was literally searching it because I saw somebody in the live chat say, "Oh, I just learned the meaning of grenade and it's appropriate, right?" But it's saying calling a woman an ugly girl that is jumped on for the sake of your friends.
Wait,
I guess it's
a
like
grenade.
a
A grenade is an ugly woman that you jump on top of for the sake of your friend. So in other words, you got me and you are out. There's two girls. One's not attractive, but you're trying to hook up with the other one. So I go ahead and date the grenade. Got it. That's funny. Messed up funny, but it's funny.
No, it's funny. God damn it, it's
funny.
funny. Because
It's funny.
I'm sorry. If grenade equals ugly, like Mimi says, Hannah is ugly if it only based on her personality alone. If I never saw her, she's ugly as hell. Okay?
Okay.
Because
Her personality
her
is bad.
personality is crap.
Yeah, her
Crap.
personality is bad. But here's my thought. How soon did she find out that he called her a grenade?
Mm-hmm.
And yet, how many times did she sleep with him? And as she put it, try to teach him things?
Mm-hmm.
Because he was so...
He's
What
like,
is
grenades
that?
don't taste good. I'm not eating that. And he won't even do this. Yeah, there's a reason for it. I don't want it to explode.
She said all that about him on on public TV. He didn't say one bad thing about her throughout this season. She talked about his looks. She talked about the fact that he's not smart. He can't cook. He can't do anything around the house. He's terrible with intimacy and sex. She said all that on camera. He didn't say one bad thing about her on camera.
On camera. And first of all, Stephen, who was saying, well, he did call her a grenade. He did do this, but then what was the problem with the ranking? Because if he ranked her an 8 or 9 or a 10, she'd have been like, oh my God, of course I am.
She wasn't. Yeah, but if he ranked her a 5, she'd be upset. All of them would be upset. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? This is what I told you. I think I told you this the other day. My goal, give me a 7 with a personality that takes her up to a 8 to a 9. Mm-hmm. 10's a drama. I don't want anything that's a 10. But I don't want anybody that's looks as a 10. Give me a 7, personality that takes her to an 8 or 9. Mm-hmm. That's my girl. So for Nick, maybe she wasn't all that, but he was still all in. He's never said to a woman that he loved her before. Mm-hmm. Never been in love before. So to me, it seemed like he was all in for this. And she kicked him to the curb.
I call bullshit because what about her made him fall in love? Not her attitude. And if he didn't
Maybe it was the pasta. Maybe it's the pasta she made.
Could have been. Pasta must have been good. Globe Hopper says the grenade comment is pretty rough, not going to lie. By the way, Nikki B says, I want to fight Ramses and Steven for throwing Nick under the bus. Here's the thing about Steven at least looked at him. Steven looked at Nick when he said, no, you said it.
Yeah.
Ramses couldn't even look at him. I'm too busy looking at my penny loafers. I can't look up to look at you.
Do you see these pants? Do you see these? Well, but I think Ramses was just happy the smoke was off of him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. By the way, Dr. BW says Hannah's personality makes a 3 out of 10 because, as Tara G says, deduct 2 from the 5. Her personality's crap. Her personality makes her -5. I'm sorry. She's
a mean
terrible.
girl. She's a mean girl. For those that seen the movie,
a mean girl who thinks she's cute.
Yeah, she's a mean girl. That just for those seen the movie, she's a mean girl.
Yeah. And I hate how Nick and Vanessa, who are supposed to be the adults on the show, didn't hold any of the women accountable in this moment, right? And it felt like Ramses was trying to get that one more role in the set because as Hannah's trying to go, and you're DMing people and trying to fly people out, like, why does that matter to you? And he's like,
right.
Wait a minute. Didn't you call me over to get some? And it's like, yeah, and then they try to excuse it. Well, of course. I'm still effing this man. I'm like, oh, come on, Marissa.
Yeah.
Why are you all in this? Why are you fighting this hard for this?
Right, because you didn't fight that hard for Ramses, who embarrassed you on TV. But you're ready to get Hannah's back. Interesting. And Hannah didn't say anything to Ramses to support Marissa. But whatever.
All. No, like James says, Hannah isn't to take it for the team. Girl, she's the holding all the girls' purses and mad as hell that we aren't going to get food.
We came together, we leaving together. That's Hannah.
Nikki B says Marissa is a clown. And shout out to Amanda. Thank you for the super chat. Says Hannah is a Heather. Look, I'm going to tell you something, man. This was so bad because here's the problem. When they bring up Katie, this gets even worse because they play the clip of after the meeting with the Pod Squad. Nobody tells Hannah she's dead ass wrong in that scenario.
Right.
Nobody.
And not even Katie.
Not even Katie. Not Monica, who was there bad-mouthing Katie the whole time. Not anybody.
Yep.
And then Katie kisses Hannah's ass. Why?
Because she's the mean girl. She's the leader of the mean girls, and that's what they do to support that. Because Katie was thinking, I saw that, and I was just so hurt. Like, I felt so bad. I bought her flowers. I did this. I apologized. All that to kiss her butt. And then when Hannah, she's like, I just want to know, Hannah, is this how you really feel? And Hannah's like, I don't know why I said that. I just say things. I'm just very direct.
Right.
But no, we're cool. Just what a mean girl would say.
Exactly.
Now, the only person who got it right was Vanessa, Marissa's mom, because she leaned over to Katie after Hannah gave that fake apology. She leaned over to Katie and said, and she's been treating you like this for a year, but she's your friend. And just leaned right over. And then Katie probably didn't hear it, in one ear and out the other. But I love her.
Completely.
She's my best friend. Yep.
I missed it completely because you and Amanda both said the same thing. She said Mama Tongue Ring told Katie that Hannah let her feel terrible for a whole year. Absolutely right.
Yeah.
And Katie's too goddamn old to be sitting there talking about, well, my best friend. You're too old for this.
Y'all were in the pods for a couple weeks. How are y'all best friends?
Stop it. Jesus. Yeah, and see, a lot of people saw that. I didn't see it, and I don't know how I missed it. Probably because I was fuming mad at that whole thing, man, because that was ridiculous. And I will say this, because there are people I wasn't the only one feeling this way, because on social, you see where Alexis Rivera says, Marissa, girl, how are you mute when it's your time to discuss what Ramses did to you, but so vocal to stick up for Hannah, who is a self-proclaimed, blunt, vocal woman who has had no problem sticking up for herself all season? You sat next to her like you were her representation. You aren't her lawyer. Matter of fact, oh man, y'all just mean. Didn't you fail to bargain? Mind the business that pays you. That's mean, but no lies told.
It's mean.
Just Shanti just said something about Marissa shielding Hannah from reasonable criticism made me very uncomfortable. Marissa, I was rooting for you, but your input is not necessary.
Nope.
We were rooting for Marissa. At least I was all season long until this. And DXU 5001 says, 13 episodes later, we have yet to see Hannah's fun side. Remember that?
No, I don't remember that. At all.
Yeah, because we never saw it. We never saw it. That was nuts. Palate cleanse. Or is it? Because it's Brittany and Leo. What do you think? Anything you see of these two besides that part?
No, because we knew there's been enough stuff leaked about them that we knew that there wasn't anything between those two. Mm-hmm. But that's totally fine. The thing that stood out to me the most in this was Tim's filibuster on how amazing Leo is and all that. That felt like 10 minutes of nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really was. It was like, I want to make sure you think I'm one of your best friends, so I can get one of them Rolex watches.
Yeah.
How about Christmas? You're the best rapper since, probably better than Kendrick. Is what guys like. Well, we're on the West Coast. Let me not say anything.
Please don't.
Yeah.
Please don't. And I really don't want to hear Leo rap. I just don't want to hear that at all.
At all. We heard his cheers at the end. It was terrible. By the way, She Likes to Tweet said, Terrell, never again with the smooches. I thought
Love
you
you. I was hoping, I wanted to hear Monica say that one more time.
Well, funny you should say that. Great segue, because next up, Monica and Steven. Yo, do you notice, as soon as they got to Monica and Steven, Monica just went straight into stone face.
Yeah, like she ate a lemon. Just
Yo, he's talking, she's still mad, and I'm like, why? Because remember, she had a 2-hour conversation with him
Right.
after they broke up.
Right.
What happened here?
And it's been over a year.
Yes.
Do you think it's because rewatching it now, it picks the scab to where it kind of makes it feel like a fresh wound?
This is why she's single.
Because she can't let it go.
She can't let anything go. We see she would be terrible to deal with. You and her would not last a week.
Probably not. Especially if she came with love you. No, that would turn me off too. But she keeps talking about how all relationships don't work and everybody cheats on her and all that. I'm not saying that's her fault, that she deserves to be cheated on. But there's something about you that you attract dudes who don't want to stay around you. And I feel like we see some of it within Monica. Now, young guys would probably put up with that. You and I are old guys.
Yeah.
We wouldn't deal with that at all.
No.
So that's why at this age, I wouldn't. Now, in my 20s, early 30s, Monica's who I was looking for. But
Aren't you glad you didn't find her?
yeah, well, yeah.
Hindsight is 20/20, brother. By the way, she likes to tweet, says Steven was looking real black in that uncle outfit.
I thought he was going to show up in a dashiki or something like that.
By the way, Dorica says Monica was auditioning for Young and Restless. Too dramatic for no reason. Exactly, because Steven is... She won't even let him speak without interrupting him. She kept interrupting him, attacking him all the time. And finally, he's like, look, nobody wants to believe me. Nobody cares. No matter what I do, nobody cares. How much responsibility do I have to take?
Agreed. I mean, what else could he say? He said I messed up. It's totally his fault. He owns it. There's not much more he can say about it. And it's over a year ago. And I respect what he's saying.
Yeah. It made no sense. Like Nikki B says, both Monica and Marissa had good things to say after the breakup, but then mad on the reunion. Yeah, it made no sense that a year later y'all are mad like this. And it's like almost so that we could talk about it, right? Because it's the thing that we do find out, he did get the text. Did you buy he did get the sleep apnea test. Did you buy his explanation of what that text thread was?
No. But this is why you don't say anything. This is why you get lawyers. Let them do the talking for you. He needed a Kellyanne Conway to step in and give some alternative facts. He shouldn't have said anything at all. And the other thing is, why leave your phone unlocked and leave that stuff there? I don't delete messages. Why wouldn't you? I have. Why wouldn't you?
Why did you?
I'm not with the person anymore. So why keep them?
Yeah.
Why keep the messages? Like, for what? I haven't talked to that person in years. Why keep the messages? Go ahead and delete it. Especially if you're someone that just likes to leave your phone out for your partner to see. With no password, delete them.
And the fact that she's like, well, why? But you knew, because he told you that in the pods. So you already knew she knew the phone was unlocked. By the way, Prime Napa probably has the answer as to why Monica was still so mad. So Monica 100% embarrassed herself. End of story. Steven was Captain Smash and Dash on national television.
I could see that.
Well, look, he brought up Peggy and she was like, ugh, no. And he was like, all right, I'm out. By the way, before we move on from them, High Vibe just wanted to say, Monica looks like she could be Scottie Pippen's daughter. Sorry, random thought.
Wow, now I can't unsee it. So look, I changed my answer. No, I could not have dated Monica.
No, you already said this, so you were looking for.
Yeah, no, now it looks like she's going to post me up in the kitchen. I'm like, no.
She'll put you on the counter.
Yeah.
Treat you like it's game 5 against the Knicks.
Yeah. Hey, she could be a good partner to have. Be like, oh, Terrell, you got the flu? That's all right. Give me the rock. I got you.
You know, here's the funny thing. Regine says, and this is something, I was literally about to move on from it, but this is a great point. They didn't even talk about how Monica treated Steven. Again, this was and Nick allows this to happen way too damn much. That's why you know who wears the pants in that household, because they didn't talk about how Monica treated Stephen and her obsession with the flowers, right? Because it was unnecessary. And the way she talked to him, talked about him. Remember at the fireworks? She talked about him. Oh, he's this. She was mean to him the whole time. Her and Hannah should have been best friends. Those were the mean girls.
Well, because society, we cater to women. I was at work today. This guy was telling me, like, yeah, my wife, she's always right. If you ever get married, you just got to learn how to live with that. I was like, no, I don't. I don't have to live with that at all. I said, I'll be single and happy before I got to, she's right because she's the woman and I'm just a dumb man. No.
Yeah, no, because we can, you and I have a problem with ever saying, oh, yeah, I'm wrong when you know you're right. So that would never happen, right?
Right.
But the other thing I will say is when people are like, oh, well, got to sleep on the couch. I'm like, for what? I ain't sleeping on the couch because you mad. No.
You mad, you got to.
Look, we can build a pillow fort in this king size bed. But we is getting into bed.
But we
Why
going
am I
to bed
getting out
tonight.
of bed? You the one upset. You go if you want to. But there's a space right here. I'm not even sprawling out on the bed. I'm gonna leave the space for you because when I wake up, I want to see you. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, what are y'all talking about? By the way, Elson says, Terrell, you was smart, you was special, you was important.
It's you was kind, but I'll take special. Fine.
No, they're right. You was special.
I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you.
Oh, my God. Now, next up, and this is one that you were kind of... Alex and Tim. I'm not sure what to take with these two because it's obvious they haven't spoken since, and it's obvious they won't talk after.
Right.
What was your takeaway when these two began?
I see why Alex called him that, and I agree.
Really?
Dude, yes. I mean, that dude is so emotional and sensitive. And here's what I mean. He is upset that she called him out of his name, but that's all he can stick with.
Yeah.
He can't really have any other fact. He talks in these circles about everything, and it made no sense. And no matter what Alex said, he kept bringing it back to that. And then he was like, why would you call someone that trying to love you? Why would you treat him that's trying to love you? I'm like, she called you that. Move on.
Yeah.
Not saying it's right, but he could not let that go. And every bit of his argument was stuck with that. And then the whole, like, I'm not loud. I talk really loud when I'm upset, but I'm not yelling at you. I just have my opinions and I want you to hear every bit of it. So I'm speaking loud. It's like, dude, you're the problem.
Yeah. Keisha says Alex dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
And Materialistic said, Tim revealed a lot about himself during the reunion, and it wasn't pretty because we had his side for a while.
We did.
And this is where, again, just the same way that we're like, you know what? I need Nick and Vanessa to hold everybody accountable for what they did and the parts they played and stop, tap dancing for the women and throwing the men underneath the bus twice, 3 times. Do it for everybody. Because here's where it comes for Tim. Because what you're saying is right on point. He could not let go of that one thing. It's like she called him that and she put her hand over his mouth. And the reasoning behind it. He's like, no, I was in control because, I'm aware. I'm a 6-foot black man. I understand this.
As soon as he said that, that's when Nick and Vanessa were like, go on. We're not gonna because they didn't want to seem like they're trying to shut a black man down. So they just let him go. Let him get it off his chest.
You're so right. I missed that. Shoshana says Tim has internal rage.
Yes.
And Toy says Alex finally got a chance to speak.
Yeah.
Because, I did kind of notice that it was every time she was speaking. And it's very annoying when people go, well, speak then. Speak.
Yeah.
And if you say, you're not letting me talk. All right, well, speak. 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 What are you supposed to say in response to that? Arr!
Bark like a dog.
That's all you can do. What the hell? That's like if you speak Spanish, say something in Spanish. Something in Spanish. Let's move on. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Alex now, and so I apologize, Alex. I still think Alex was lazy. I won't apologize for that. There's no excuse for that. But she didn't have to put up with all that stuff that Tim was doing. And Tim is just being exactly what Alex said he was. And you got to be able to let that go. I mean, that totally insulted him to a level that he couldn't even think logically anymore.
Okay, you just called Alex lazy. Happy Garden says, hey, Alex has like 20 jobs. Y'all still think she's lazy?
Okay, stop. Let's and see, I appreciate there are a lot of people that want to support the ladies on this show. And I know we're two guys, and we got to watch a lot, and we work hard at watching what we say, but let's just cut the bullshit sometimes. If your house is that gross that you have a camera crew that comes over to put it on national TV, you can't tell me, well, you're going to understand that she worked all day and that's lazy. That's all that is. And it's okay to be lazy and have a bunch of jobs. It's okay. That's like saying, I know overweight people that work out 5 days a week. They're not lazy, just eating bad.
And let's be fair. Out of them 20 jobs, one of them could have paid for a cleaner.
One of them could have done $30 to get somebody to come clean that place for you. That's all it is. And everybody keeps going with the depression. And stop. You're making a huge assumption, and you're making excuses for people. Sometimes we got to say there's no excuse for a camera crew to come to your house, and you show it looking like that, and you're content with that. You can't say that's depression. And it's not making excuses. Just say, you know what? That was a bad look for her. And it's okay to say that. Yeah. Jesus, everybody, you don't understand, till she could have ADHD. And I recognize, no, she was just lazy. And that's okay to be lazy and do a bunch of things. Lazy doesn't mean you're not active.
Right.
That's lazy. Sorry, I had to get that off my chest, because for the last 3 episodes that we've done these recaps, and I've heard people in the comments and even on YouTube after, what do we call them? Not the after party. You got the live crew replay game. People keep saying, well, she could be depressed, and she's lazy. Period. If your house looks like that, that's just lazy when a camera crew's coming. Sorry.
Living to do said people keep making excuses for Alex, like you just said. And Amanda says, I worked 3 jobs and my house was spotless. That said, she still deserved that nap.
I don't mind you taking the nap.
Yeah.
I don't mind
taking the nap.
The nap
was just a straw that broke the camel's back. He was done already.
He was done already. And I don't think the nap was a bad thing. But let's just stop making excuses for somebody who is lazy. It's all it is.
Toya says, cleaners aren't expensive. Yeah. Exactly. It's... VN says, go, Terrell. Lazy is lazy. Hey, do not encourage this man. He's ready to go on another road.
I've been seeing people go off on that all the time. Oh, Terrell, you don't understand it. I suffer from depression. You don't have a camera crew coming to your house. And if you did, you would hire some people to clean it.
You would make sure that thing looks presentable.
Yes. We don't understand. Stop it. Someone even said, was everything she went through with her dad and all that, that's why her place is grown. Stop it. Stop making excuses for people.
By the way, Nikki B says, no nap. She chose to bartend one night only. The night his parents were in town. Here's the thing about it. We talked about this before, too. He did everything when her parents were there. She did nothing. She sat down, chilled with them. Yes, my manservant's outside cooking. He'll bring that food in. And he did.
Yeah, but I also used to be a bartender. And when you do gig bartender works, you got to take the gig when it comes. You got bills to pay. This is your chance to make $300. So I can't just say no. So you got to take the job. I get it. Now, I personally wouldn't have fallen asleep and taken a nap. I'd have just, took some Red Bull and powered through the night. Yeah. And all that. And then said, hey, babe, I need to sleep for tomorrow morning. I sacrificed for your family. I need a nap tomorrow afternoon. Don't bother me. But I get it. She had to make the money. I don't think she could have just, passed up the shift.
Yeah. Prime Napa says, nope, I can't even imagine dealing with a woman who doesn't keep her house clean. That's a reflection of you. Hell, does that mean you just look clean surface-wise? Yeah.
That's how I see it, personally. If your car is dirty or your house is dirty, I'm like,
Or if you got extra long fingernails, but that's another story. We'll leave that alone. I'm just saying. There's certain things. I'm just saying. By the way, Nikki did say Alex admitted she was being mean when his parents came. So she did understand. And that's the thing. You know it. You know when you're being mean. You know when you're blowing somebody off. You know when you're doing these things. And yeah, he did all that. And he was seeking his revenge from the whole hands over the mouth. Because I knew she didn't probably mush him in the manner that people were thinking, right? Because he never said she mushed her. She said she covered his mouth, right? She called him out of his name. He brought that up. He was ready to end it then. They stuck it out. Little Black Book 91 talked about it. He was waiting. He was plotting. He got her in her feels. But then he even gave her a warning. He didn't catch her blindsided. He didn't blindside her, right? Because he gave her a warning. He says, I have doubts.
Yeah.
And then he said, I'm going to wait till you get your wings and fries, and I'm going to let them fries get cold. You have to go ahead and try to warm them back up in the microwave, but it just won't taste the same, and break up with you then.
But she didn't care. That's just it. She was not feeling him because as he's leaving, she's just, Just looked, watched him walk, took a bite of chicken. She didn't care about him. So I think if that was his plan, it failed.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't moved at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Dr. BW says Alex and Tim are both passive aggressive. They get pissed, then plot, then act. You agree?
No, that takes too much work, and I don't think Alex would pull that off. That takes effort.
You, sir, are not.
Sorry.
See, little points out, Alex had no Marissa tears at all. And Keisha says, hey, I love that Alex just kept eating when Tim was walking out. Yeah, because she was like, I ain't letting this food go to waste. I ain't crying. Don't cry for me, Argentina. Nope, sure won't. Oh, my God. Earlier, Globe Hopper had said, this is amazing how everyone explained how they'd been misrepresented without actually saying, the show producers and editors effed us over. They were clearly instructed not to say that explicitly, or they read the fine print.
Well, when you sign up for a reality show, this could happen.
Yeah.
That's all that is.
I am actually glad they didn't do that because, I think Basketball Wives, they used to do this all the time. Well, I thought they were going to show more about my job and my charity work. And have you ever watched the damn show? No, that's not what they show.
It's Basketball Wives. You're only relevant because of the dude that you are married to or slept with.
Yeah, because they ain't married to, because there weren't many married on that show.
That's the show. It's who you used to be with, who you had kids by. They don't care about your business and your charity. They don't care about that.
Hey, I gotta put this one up before we get out of here. Kenneth asked this question: did Alex and Tim ever have any happy moments? Yes.
When he left. They were both happy. She could eat in peace, and he walked away.
I was gonna say. You're an ass. Because I was going to say when he drove over that bridge. Oh, my God. You're an ass. Okay. Let's get the hell out of here, man. Because the one thing we did find out at the end, because we found out about who this girl is from season 1 that didn't care. They should have had Lauren on there, but they didn't. Nancy, don't remember her, and Marshall, who... I know he works your nerves with his facial expressions the entire season.
Oh, Marshall?
Episode,
oh, my goodness.
Those were signals.
It's just too much.
Those were back signals.
I was like, Marshall, it's just too much. Just stop it. Just sit there and just watch. You don't have to...
Yeah. At least he didn't agree with AD when she was like, period. 10 toes down, Hannah. Let's go.
No, he gave her the facial expression. He agreed. Like,
Don't ever do that again. Wait till you watch this back. Don't ever do that again.
Then my internet freeze my face up just like that. That would be funny.
We find out next season launches Valentine's 2025. So Can't wait for this to come back because in Minnesota, they wanted to make sure they let you know there's going to be black people there. At least one. So there was. By the way, somebody did point out that Bodie was in the audience. Did you see him?
Nope.
Yeah,
I didn't see him.
I said, did anyone else spot Bodan in the audience? Because I didn't see him either.
Yeah, I didn't see him.
Yeah, neither did I. Because I remember you asked that earlier. It was like, hey, did you? Why didn't they bring Bodie out? But there was no need to. They're all besties.
Yeah.
I wonder who is the new bestie. Is he besties now with Marissa or with Ramses? So,
who knows?
Yeah. Well, look, don't forget, we'll be back next week. Married at First Sight, season 18, Chicago. And probably back with a regular episode soon, too. So be on the lookout for that. Do us a favor, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications so you find out when we go live. And we'll see you right back here. I'm Yanni Root.
I'm Just Terrell.
Make sure you follow us at Yanni Root, at Just Terrell, and at the RGRT Pod.
Yeah, send us some of your random thoughts, some of the bullshit found on the internet. We'll talk about it on the show.
It's the Regular Guys Random Thoughts Podcast. Cheers.
Cheers.